I'll be honest with you, I have just woken up from a nap. It is 8 o'clock at night and I'm not going to sleep tonight, and I've woken up so hyperactive. I was like, I'm going to make a video, and I'm going to make a video about things I actually like about The Sims 4. That was a mouthful. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am used to getting mouthfuls from... I was going to say a joke about getting a mouthful of Shanice because she's so insufferable, but I accidentally made a dirty joke, and like I didn't mean to make that joke. I'm sorry. So my number one thing I love to do in The Sims 4 is managing a business. I do really like careers gameplay, and there are lots of different ways you can do careers gameplay in The Sims 4 depending on how many packs you own, or if you don't own any packs. I would say my favorite way to do this is with the get to work retail system. Unfortunately, retail and get to work can be a little bit buggy and glitchy, but the actual like money making side of things seems to work okay. It's just you'll have a lot of townies in your shops and they'll all be clipping through each other and walking all over each other. But if you can look past that, the actual selling things, that bit generally works okay. And the reason why I like it is because it is cross-pack compatible. One of my other favorite packs in The Sims 4 is the Round with Magic pack, and I really like making potions actually and selling them and making a cute little potion shop. I know most people, when they create a retail business, they do a little bakery. I genuinely love potion shops. You could also just make a cute little bakery, but you could also sell some items that you've made, for example, using the florist table in the seasons pack if you want to arrange some flowers. If you're feeling like really up for the challenge, you can even do everything from scratch, meaning that you basically have to live off the land. So if you do want to make a florist shop that you have to grow all of the plants yourselves, you could even do it with the base game with woodworking and I don't know, making like a woodworking shop. Like there's so many different options. I think it's really cool. Now, if you don't own Get to Work, but you want to do something really similar with like selling things, there's actually another thing you can use, which is a market stall. In order to do this, you do need either eco lifestyle, jungle adventure, or city living. But as far as I'm aware, jungle adventure is actually a free pack. So even though it's not base game, technically it kind of is base game. With the market stall, you can basically stock it with smaller items that you can appropriately place on the table. You can then start a yard sale and basically sell things from your house. It's definitely not the same as the Get to Work retail system, but it's definitely the next best thing. And not just like owning like a business, you know, like a shop if you own Get to Work or something, but I also love careers gameplay that feels like you're self-employed. With the Get Famous pack, I know it comes with the like YouTuber station thing where you can record videos, and there's a little drone in the pack that you can get to follow you around, and you can almost do like vlogs with it. Like I think it's really cool the way that it's been set up. I do really love Dine Out because you can run your own restaurant business with that, although there is a caveat. I do recommend you get Carl's Dine Out Reloaded mod because it makes it a million times more playable and fun. If you don't have that mod, I personally don't recommend getting Dine Out. If you're a console player, I don't recommend getting Dine Out. If you're a PC player who refuses to use mods, I don't recommend getting Dine Out. But if you're a PC player and you do use mods and you want to be able to run your own restaurant business, I definitely recommend getting Dine Out with the mod because that one is really fun too. The second really fun thing that I love to do in The Sims 4 is creating my own save file. As you may have seen, I've been sharing a bit of my journey of that on YouTube with you guys. I actually originally made a save file kind of in secret, and I was actually making it over the course of a few months, but I accidentally lost the file. Oopsie daisy. That was my bad. I didn't back up the save file and my PC crashed and I lost everything. That was my stupid mistake anyway. I'm really enjoying it, but this time I'm going through like a lot more relaxed. If you've seen my videos about creating a save file and going through my own save file, you'll know that I am not afraid to download other people's builds off the gallery. Save files are totally personal things, so you can do whatever you want. There are a lot of different ways you can go about it. I actually did an entire video guide on how to create a save file. It's a guide based on my own experiences doing it and what I think works best. So feel free to check that one out. I will pop a link to that video in the description of this one. I'm actually going to pop a link to some other useful vids that are related to this video and things I've spoken about, so feel free to check them all out, whichever one you want to. Anyway, I think the cool thing about creating your own save file is that you can literally, you know, use it to practice your building skills and become a better builder. You can use it to give Sims more stories in CAS because let's be honest, none of the Sims 4 townies have any stories. The main reason why I personally love to do my save file is to do all the cross-pack play because there are so many packs out for the Sims 4 now, and if you own a few of them, you might find it difficult to use all of the features because they're so like isolated apart from each other, and some things you rarely ever use because they take so long to set up. Like, let's be honest, barely any any of us ever like go to restaurants in The Sims, because before you can even like go to a restaurant, you have to place one down in your world. And then you're, you know, worrying, how do I find a good restaurant on the gallery? Oh, I found a good restaurant, but it contains objects from packs that I don't own, so I can't use it. And then you got to think, oh no, where can I place it? What lot size is appropriate? Where's an empty lot that I can use it? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's so frustrating. Creating your own save file where like everything is just there. You know, you put a themed restaurant in every world if you own that pack. If you own the paranormal stuff pack, you can pop a haunted house in one or two of the worlds that you can play in if you want to. If you own the cats and dogs pack and you own the island living pack, you may want to make kind of like a tropical islandy veterinary clinic, because if your Sims have cats and dogs living in the island living world, maybe you want to create a vets for them. Do you know what I mean? Maybe if you own Spa Day, okay, you want to make like a beachside spa. There's so many things you can do involving cross-pack play and cross-pack features. It's a shame that I think EA haven't really integrated the packs very well to make it possible for you to enjoy all these things at once. But I think creating a save file is a great way to enjoy all of that. That's why I'm personally doing it anyway. The next thing I cannot recommend enough is trying out all the scenarios. Now, when scenarios first came out, I was like, what the hell is this? I do have some reservations about scenarios. I personally don't think that they were all implemented in the best way, but some of them are actually really good. I did actually recently play one on my channel. You may have seen the video, you may not. It was a scenario basically about a granny being near her deathbed, and she was deciding how much money to give to all of her grandchildren from her will. It was a really interesting scenario actually, and it actually had different kind of consequences. Some of the scenarios are built for like beginners. Some of them are like really open-ended where you can literally do anything and everything, but then other scenarios are really limited and you've got to kind of follow this set storyline or like a set script. It reminds me a lot of The Sims 2, because in The Sims 2 every single townie had storylines and it was really like engrossing. With scenarios, there's not like storylines between different households. It's not the same as The Sims 2, is definitely not as good at it, but it's the next best thing that you're going to find in The Sims 4. I also think it integrates well with like a save file, because you could play all of your scenarios in the same file and make that kind of like your save file, because then you've actually built the world with like real characters that you've played with and designed, and they have storylines. I think it's a more nourishing, what I'm on about, nourishing. This isn't a shampoo commercial. It's a more enriching, oh, now it's a bloody conditioner commercial. It's like a more holistic, all right? A more holistic experience. Got there in the end. The next thing I actually really like to do, I don't know if there's a word for it, but I want to call it like making a super sim. It's basically where you make a singular sim, but you basically have them complete every single aspiration and do every single thing. So have your sim complete like every single base game aspiration if you can. If you own Discover University, like have them go to university and study a degree, complete all of the Discover University aspirations. If you have Realm of Magic, turn them into a spellcaster and make them do all the spellcaster aspirations. And then there's like something you can do so they're not a spellcaster anymore, like revoke their spellcaster magicness. And then you could make them into a vampire, and then you could cure them of vampirism and turn them into a werewolf and complete all those aspirations and go through every single pack. When you go through like every single thing in every single pack, it may get a little bit glitchy. That's why like if it does glitch out a little bit, I wouldn't beat yourself up. I would just remember the aspirations that you completed before, delete your original sim, create a new sim, and use cheats to complete the aspirations that they already completed on the old version of themselves if they do glitch out, if you know what I mean. Because I find like the longer you play in a save file, the more glitchy it gets. So that's just like a pre-warning, but you can still achieve it. Obviously, it's best to do it with aging turned off, but if you want an extra challenge, you could always turn aging on, and you just have to keep topping them up with those like life potions that reset their age and stuff. I think it's a great way to go through like all of the pack features, because I personally find that there's so many features in some of the packs that I rarely ever use them. And even if you don't want to make it like official by going through all the aspirations, I still think it's fun to do a kind of similar thing, which is creating a sim starting from nothing. What I normally like to do, because I have the city living pack, I have them start off in the city with like no money and have them start off in a really scatty apartment, and then I make them work a horrible job until they can save up enough money for university. Then I make them go to university. Then I make them get a good job. Then I move into a nice suburban area, and then I make them have a family. You call that like legacy gameplay? What am I on about? That's a legacy gameplay, what I'm talking about. It's not legacy gameplay in terms of like constantly meaning to have families and raise children. It's more of like a quality over quantity thing, giving your sim like a proper good life. I think it's a really fun challenge. And if you find like The Sims 4 is too easy for that kind of challenge, because I know it is very easy. There are mods out there which make career progression a lot harder, make salary significantly lower, so like you do have to work a lot harder. I personally recommend those kinds of mods, those quality of life mods, just to make it, you know, a lot more engaging. I am sorry for console players, it is a little bit better on PC. Don't mean to rub it in your face. Every time I talk about mods, I always get people saying, you know, Satch, you are console player phobic. It's not that deep, guys. And the final thing you should do if you are bored of The Sims 4 is go back to The Sims 3. And I know a lot of you are going to be rolling your eyes and sighing. Guys, you have no idea how much better The Sims 3 is. You like have no idea. If you have not played The Sims 3, please, please, please do not form a judgment. Yes, The Sims 4 is aesthetic. That's The Sims 4's thing. You know, The Sims 2 basically had the most advanced AI for like social interactions in any life simulation game, period. The Sims 3 had open worlds. The Sims 4 has, oh, it's pretty. That's the aesthetic thing. There are actually mods, by the way, to make The Sims 3 look a lot more pretty. But in general, guys, honestly, sometimes EA will do a sale where they sell like every single Sims 3 pack all bundled into one for like $60. And it is good value for money. Trust me when I say like the gameplay of The Sims 3 is so much better. If you want a recommendation, my favorite Sims 3 pack ever is the World Adventures pack. It has got so much stuff. It's incredible. And I don't think you should be afraid of playing it because it is an upgrade for The Sims 4. I'm sorry, but it is. Sims 4 has upgraded graphics, but everything else is shiter. If you want to see one of my Sims 3 Let's Plays, by the way, I'll chuck the playlist here. Watch any of the videos and you'll see what I mean. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.